Hello, and welcome to Fuel Your Mind. As you may have noticed, the set's missing a couple of our co-hosts. Katie Watson and Elida Perales are not able to be with us today. Today, both Erin Bohnsack and myself are going to co-host the program for the first time by ourselves, so we're going to ask for your patience. But in the meantime, today in our hot seats, and we do have two, we have Brian Ritter and Brittany Ackerland. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Brian is with our conservation program that we have at Muscatine Community College, and so we're going to turn it over to you, Brian, and tell us a little bit more about the program.
All right, great. Well, the conservation technology program is an AS degree, and most of the core classes are right here at Nahant Marsh, which is in my background, as you can see, and it's a great natural learning lab, essentially. It's largest urban wetland on the upper Mississippi River, and it's in the southwest part of Davenport, so it's kind of centrally located. It's right almost at the junction of Highway 22 and I-280, so it's about a 20-25 minute drive for Muscatine people. It's close by for Davenport people, so it's a great location, and there's a tremendous amount of plants and animals and other things to study out there. So it's a great place for this program. So we have classrooms down there, we have computer labs, but the biggest part is the outside. So the courses that we offer, you start out with your basic stuff, kind of an intro to conservation course, and occupations in conservation, which we're having right now, which Brittany here is in, and essentially in that course we get all kinds of different people in the conservation professions to come in and talk about what it took to get to where they are, all the different opportunities that are in conservation. So far we've had everything from educators. Yesterday we had a woman that works for the Scott County Waste Commission that deals with recycling and trash all day, and she's an educator, and law enforcement people, fisheries people, and so there's all kinds of different possibilities. You don't have to be pigeonholed, and that's the cool thing about this program. If you like the outdoors or you like the environment or doing stuff with the environment, it's a great opportunity.
Okay, and obviously we have Brittany here that can probably pretty much testify to that it is a great program. What brought you to that program? What's
my love for the outdoors and the environment pretty much sums it up. When I was a girl, I liked to go outside and catch frogs at my neighbor's pond. That was what I loved to do. That was where you could find me pretty much 24/7 in the summer, is outside by the pond and with the frogs, and I'd pretty much be head to toe soaking wet and dirty, and I always have loved it, and I still do now, and I love the program. It's really great, and it's definitely what I want to be doing for the rest of my life. So,
did you start off there and with Scott Community College?
Actually, I started at Blackhawk, and I wanted to go into fisheries biology, but that would have made me transfer all the way down to Southern Illinois. And so this local program that has come up has really helped me financially and everything, be able to stay around here and get involved here and finish my degree here. So
what do you want to do after you graduate?
I'm not quite sure. I'm open to anything, but if I can get into the fisheries side of everything, I would like to do that. But I'm open.
Fisheries, tell me more about that.
What do you mean by fisheries?
Yeah.
Like studying the rivers and the freshwater fish species, maybe working at a hatchery or working with DNR, helping to like restock lakes or study the fish in the lakes, the populations and how they're doing, stuff like that. So
okay.
I fish a lot.
Move or stay around here?
It doesn't matter. I'm open to that. I'm open to that too.
But you could stay here.
Go
like there's
anywhere.
Jobs around here
Yeah.
for that. Okay.
That was something that when we went to visit the marsh, it's been a little while now, but we did hear about that opportunity. That because you're in this program, it doesn't mean So many programs are, you have to stay within an area, and this one's open to quite a few. There were a lot of them. Can you mention some of those different opportunities and where you'd find them?
Right. Well, I mean, here especially, since we have the Mississippi River, which is this tremendous natural resource right here, there's a lot of different agencies that work on the Mississippi River. So locally, we've got the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service that has a field office in Moline. We've got the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, which is located all up and down the Mississippi River, really. There's all kinds of jobs available with them, whether it's an educator or a park ranger or hydrologist or whatever it may be. And so we've got the federal agencies, we've got state agencies. Fairport Fish Hatchery is right here. We've got a couple state parks that are nearby. We've got a few state preserves that are nearby. And then, of course, there's the county and city types of jobs. We've got Muscatine, Scott County, Louisa County Conservation Boards. We've got things like the City of Davenport does have environmental educators. They have foresters, jobs like that. And then, of course, there's all these other odds and ends. There's agencies like the Nature Conservancy. There's a lot of nonprofit organizations around that look for people that have this sort of experience and this sort of background. So,
I know, Brittany, you said something about how if you would have attended Black Hawk, you'd have to go and move to Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
With us, you have another opportunity. What is that opportunity? Can you explain that as far as where you're going to transfer and how that works and what it's doing for you as far as time frame and maybe even cost?
Well, it's the RPTA program at Western.
What's RPTA stand for?
Recreation Parks and Tourism Administration. And they're working with the Eastern Iowa Community Colleges, where they're taking kids from the Conservation Technology program that get their associates, and they're applying that towards your bachelor's in the RPTA. And you also get a minor in environmental science. So it's like around the same thing I want to do. I can still work outside, and I can still work with the environment and conservation type things, but it's not quite as intense as a fisheries biologist would have been in the program for that, which is kind of nice too.
So is that 2 years here, 2 years there, or how does that work?
Well, actually I'm going to Scott Community College, and I can take Muscatine classes too, while I'm also attending Western in Moline, the Quad Cities campus.
So that will allow you to get done faster?
Yeah.
Cool.
As long as you take a lot of hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's the cool thing about this agreement with Western that we have is it's an accelerated program. So if you work hard and you maintain a certain GPA, you can actually finish your associates and your bachelor's in 3 years, which is really kind of a one-of-a-kind program for this area anyways. In the Midwest, it's hard to find anything like that. And so the other advantage is it's super cheap. The tuition at Western isn't too much more than Scott's tuition. And the advantage with this program, if you come in as a freshman, you start taking the conservation courses and you take one Western Illinois course, you can lock in at Western's tuition rate. And that means that if you're going there for 3 years or 4 years, if they raise their tuition, you're going to be paying the same amount that you paid as a freshman your whole 3 or 4 year career there. So,
and I think that's awesome, and as well as the fact that you don't have to pay out of state. Isn't that correct? So you have in-state tuition, and it's locked in at the certain price as your freshman tuition rate.
It's really awesome. But a lot of people don't know is that when they hear the accelerated program, they think they have to do it that way, but they don't. People don't have to do it that way. You can go at your own pace too.
If you want to do the accelerated program, is there like a certain time that you need to sign up for that by, like your freshman, like your first semester? Or?
Well, I think ideally, if you want to do it, it's best to sign up as a freshman because that way you start taking the Western classes right away. You get those under your belt at the same time that you're taking the. You can sign on later on. You know, if you don't know until you're Second semester or third semester, that's fine. You just have to sort of backtrack and make up a few things. But
this is my fourth semester is when I signed on, but I was just doing gen eds, so I'm not backtracking really. But you can sign on whenever.
So when will you be done?
I can be done in 3 more semesters, but the accelerated program is tough, so I think I'm going to add another semester on so I can kind of enjoy it a little more.
You just love the Marsh so much you don't want to leave.
Yeah.
Because you work there too, right? You're doing.
Yeah, I work there too. I like it out there.
So do you have a lot of students that work there?
Yeah, we have a lot of opportunities for students who are going into conservation or environmental studies or biology, in that we have a summer, and this year we've extended to a fall work program. That's what Brittany's doing. Brittany's what we call a conservation aide. And so we've got her out there doing all kinds of horrible work that I don't like to do. But she's doing things like, you know, clearing invasive brush, extending our trails, you know, all kinds of the nuts and bolts of trying to maintain a natural area. So the other side of that is we have an internship program too, and it's a paid internship program. So we generally hire 2 interns for a semester, and they help us with educational programming, because we don't just teach college courses there. We have little kids there, we have, you know, adults, and so that program, you know, is also geared towards people that want to get into environmental stuff, but they want to maybe go more towards the education side of it. So we do have a lot of opportunities for students. So in the past year, I think we've had 11 or 12 college students working at Nahant Marsh for us. So it's a great way to get experience. It's also a great way to meet people, because we're tied in with so many different agencies locally, whether it's you know, the federal agencies or non-for-profits that work down with us at Nahant Marsh to try to make this place function.
Well, I understand that you brought some video, and I'm not sure if that's the same as the wilderness experience. I'm not sure if you want to talk about the wilderness experience first, or we watch the video first.
Talk, then video.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit.
Okay,
so
I made the executive decision.
Excellent.
Tell us about it.
Well, okay, so the wilderness experience is a course. It's a 2-credit course, and it's a required course for this conservation program. And it's personally, it's one of my favorite courses to teach, because I get to canoe and camp and fish for a week and stuff like that. But it's a tremendous learning experience. We're completely outside of the classroom the whole time, and generally we go to these beautiful natural areas